Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Social Development and Employment. How many more people were receiving an unemployment benefit in July 2010 than in July 2008?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, due to a combination of the global recession and poor economic performance from 2000 to 2009, 42,513 more people were receiving the unemployment benefit in July 2010 than in July 2008.
The Honourable Annette King.
Supplementary question. Why did she wait 18 days to release to the Parliamentary Library the full summary of benefit figures for July, and was the reason because between July 2009 and July 2010, under her stewardship, 18,000 more people received a main benefit, 6,800 more received an unemployment benefit, over 400 more received an emergency benefit, the independent youth benefit rose by almost 30%, and the unemployment benefit student hardship rose by almost 85%.
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Speaker, I suppose I'd just question where the member's been for the last 2 years. Actually, this country has been going through the remnants of a global recession and have been...
Order. I think I can...
I don't think I even need to say it, Mr.
Anticipate the point of order. The question asked, why did the Minister delay releasing to the Library, Parliamentary Library, if I recollect correctly, certain benefit data, and then asked, was it because of certain figures? Now, the Minister can choose to answer either part of that question, but should answer one part rather of the question. The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, what I can assure the House is on average, actually, we've been more transparent. Those numbers have been going to the Library sooner than the previous government, and that was something that I insisted of when I first became Minister. But, Mr Speaker, with those increases that the member mentions, it should be no surprise that actually we are going through tough times. There are people that are looking for work and are unable to get them. And I think when you see some of the best of times between 2000 and 2009, when we could have upskilled young people so they actually could get into sustainable jobs, we could have been supporting businesses more so that they were actually creating employment for people. Now we have got a big job to do in turning that around.
Tim McIndoe.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary question. How many new vacancies were listed with work and income in July 2010 compared to July 2008?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, in July 2008 there were just 2,496 new vacancies. In July 2009 that nearly doubled to 4,000. But in July 2010 there were 5,116 new jobs that came into work and income.
The Honourable Annette King.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. Why did she publicly release full monthly benefit figures to the Parliamentary Library in March, April and May this year, just 1 or 2 days after her press release, but waited 16 days in June and 18 days in July, releasing them on a Friday afternoon? And why are they still not on the MSD website for all New Zealanders to see?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, as I pointed out, actually, we've been more transparent with numbers than the previous government ever was, and making that information available. What the member probably doesn't realise, since she spent so long as a minister, is you actually have to do some of the work yourself to find the information that one might need. So actually reading the papers that come through might be useful, and then you might get the information that you're looking for.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, the Honourable Annette King.
Mr Speaker, I know you heard my question, and it was pretty straightforward. She didn't answer any part of it.
Order. 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 The member asked a question indeed, and as I tried to listen to it, it was extraordinarily difficult for me to hear it because of the interjections from the member's own colleagues. It was very noisy, and I think the Honourable David Cunliffe knows exactly how much noise he was making. But from what I could discern from what the Minister was saying, she did actually answer the question. The question was why she did something, and there's never a precise answer to that, and I think the Minister did answer that question. The Honourable Annette King.
Question. Well, is the reason she recently delayed the release of all monthly benefit figures explained in the headlines of her monthly press releases? In March, she said benefit numbers decrease as expected. April, she said unemployment rate falls. May, she said, benefit numbers remain below forecast. And then in June, she said, benefit numbers released. And finally in July, she said, benefit figures rise.
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr. Speaker, it sounds like very honest press releases to me, put out in a timely manner and actually there for everyone to read.
But the figures aren't. The figures aren't released. Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker. I seek leave to table the figures. There's a point of order, Mr. Speaker.
A point of order has been called. Order. I can't hear what the member is seeking. A point of order.
I seek leave to table the March, April, May, June and July benefit numbers that are only released to the Parliamentary Library and have to be requested, are not available to the public.
The leave has been sought under a point of order to release. It's alleged this information is not generally available to the public. Leave is sought to table those documents. Is there any objection? There's no objection.
Question.
The Honourable Annette King.
Has she seen the media release from Statistics New Zealand released this morning that show the largest annual decrease in actual jobs filled since the series began in 1999? And is this the reason that she disagreed with the Prime Minister about New Zealand aggressively coming out of the recession?
The Honourable Paula
Mr.
Bennett.
Speaker, yes, I have seen that press release. However, what I've also seen was a report recently that said from 1987 to 1990, under Phil Goff and Annette King's watch, the unemployment benefit actually rose from 40,000 to a whopping 150,000 people on the unemployment benefit.
Point of order, the Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr. Speaker, clearly this is desperation when the Minister, instead of answering...
No, order. Member will resume his seat. Cannot start a point of order by accusing another member of an act of desperation. That has nothing to do with order. Now, I'll be very courteous to the member and listen so long as there's a point of order. The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr. Speaker, it goes to the issue of misrepresentation. Rather than the Minister responding directly to the question that the member has raised, she is instead going back several generations to probably before she was born.
Order. No. The member will resume his seat. I've extended him the courtesy of listening to a point of order that's not a point of order, and it was my own silly mistake. Jacinda Ardern.
Supplementary to the Minister. What initiatives has her government specifically designed for the more than 41,000 young people who are not in training, education or employment and are not on an unemployment benefit? And how many young people does the Minister estimate these initiatives will assist?
Mr. Speaker, to be clear, the primary question actually asked about the unemployment benefit, and now the member's actually mixing that up with the Household Labour Force survey, as she often does. So to be clear that on the unemployment benefit...
Order. This is not helpful to the order of the House. Now, what I'm going to do, because I must admit I heard what seemed to me to be a rather different question, and because I'm now a little confused about it, I'll invite Jacinda Ardern to repeat her question.
To the Minister, what initiatives has her government specifically designed for the more than 41,000 young people who aren't in training, education or employment and are not on an unemployment benefit? And how many young people does the Minister estimate these initiatives will assist?
Mr. Speaker, I quite proudly stand up on behalf of this government and actually talk about the youth guarantee that the Minister of Education has introduced and the difference that that's making for those young people. I'd like to talk about the youth training, the YTS, and how that's actually been turned around, and we're seeing that going more directly to those young people that need it. Mr. Speaker, I also stand up on the training opportunities that this government has spent a lot of time on. And actually...
Point of order, Jacinda Ardern.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. I specifically asked if she could give the number that initiative would assist.
No, order. No, I don't need any assistance on this one. The member, perhaps unwisely, asked what initiatives has the Minister implemented to deal with these numbers, and the members should not exchange interjections. And the Minister answered exactly that. She outlined the initiatives that she has been pursuing to deal with that issue. Now, she doesn't have to go to cover all aspects of the question asked, the supplementary question asked.
Finish my answer, Mr. Speaker.
Well, I think we'd heard enough.
Well, there's a lot.
A further supplementary question, Jacinda Ardern.
How many young people will the initiatives the Minister just named assist?
The Honourable Paula
Mr.
Bennett.
Speaker, we have been specifically looking at 16 and 17-year-olds have been a key focus for this government. So they are, I can't give the member the exact number because it is so many that we're actually reaching for that.